We can't trust each other. We stay alert, watch each other. We're terrified.
Terrified is a pretty good place to start.
Take your teardrop.
Less is more is a trope used in horror films and TV shows to effectively build suspense, and that's certainly the case in Peacock's new show, Teacup. I'm talking with showrunner Ian McCulloch. So he's previously worked on Yellowstone and Chicago Fire. So thanks for chatting with me, and tell us what Teacup's all about.
Teacup is about family who live on a farm in rural Georgia, very isolated farm. And some strange things start happening. And when those strange things start happening, a few of their neighbors show up to deal with some of the strange things that are happening with animals and electricity and cars not running. And they find that they're actually trapped. All these people together are trapped on this farm for one reason or another that I'm not going to go into. And because they're trapped there, they have to not only deal with each other and put aside their differences, but they have to come together in the face of a mysterious and very deadly threat.
That's a great description without giving away spoilers. And what's interesting, though, it's based on a book which is not called Teacup. It's called Stinger. And tell us about how you went to adapting this, but it's not necessarily a word for word or interpretation.
Well, James Wan's company came to me with this book and asked if I'd be interested in adapting it. And I read it and I loved it. But to me, it felt very much like a large tentpole action adventure movie. And what we were talking about doing was a series, and hopefully a season 2, a season 3, a continuing series. And with that in mind, I thought, well, what if we took the basic idea of the book and we took some of the things we really loved about it and we put everything else aside and we flipped it on its head and made everything big, small. And we started at ground level and made it a much less a spectacle and more an emotional experience where you're invested in characters, where you want to see what happens to these characters over the course of several seasons. And so that was our way in. And I basically went off and wrote a script. And the idea was, I handed the script to James Wan's people and said, if you guys like this, we can move forward with it. And they did like it. So we decided to move forward with it. And the second thing was, we had to give that script to Robert McCammon, who wrote the book Stinger. And I said, here, this is very different than your book. I've even changed the title for various reasons that have to do with the story of Teacup, but also because I wanted to differentiate it from the book, because the book exists. It's fantastic. Go read the book. This is a very different experience. So I actually feel like it shouldn't even be called the same thing because it's different. And Mr. McCammon, thankfully, loved the idea and was on board, and we took it from there.
Are the animals still worked up?
Yeah. Goats, sagebrush, especially ginger. I don't know, it's weird. Maybe something got them really spooked. You make peace with my mom?
I will.
Okay. You want me to walk Ginger down to the clinic so you can check her out?
I already closed everything up for the weekend.
This is hard. Not talking about what's really going on with us, Maggie.
I told you, James, I'm not ready to talk.
James Wan, who you mentioned, just this horror mastermind we know from franchises like Insidious, The Conjuring, the Saw movies. What was his role? Obviously, he brought you the script, but then once you got the go-ahead to go ahead with Teacup, what was his role in helping bring Teacup to life?
James is what I would say is the best version of a heavy hitter executive producer. And by that, I mean, he lets you do what you're going to do. He trusts that you know what you're doing, and he's there if you need him. But he takes a step back and he says, listen, if you need me to help with this or that. I can weigh in or I can not weigh in. And I think that was why, one of the reasons why this was the best experience of my career, was that you have someone who's not micromanaging, who's on board with the ideas, will suggest things, but never give you mandates, and really supported the vision and supported, there was, I don't know, 350 people involved, really supported, made sure that we had what we needed to make this series.
That's great to hear from someone like him. In this show, as I'm watching it, the 8 episodes, I'm thinking this is very similar to ensemble shows like Walking Dead, like The Last of Us, like The Leftovers. I'm seeing all these people come together to try to fight this unknown mystery that we're going to learn unfolds over the season. You have these heavy hitters like Yvonne Strahovski, Chaske Spencer, Scott Speedman, and Kathy Baker, just some great teen and child actors as well. What was it like getting everyone together for this show?
It was pretty great. I'll be honest with you. Scott and I had known each other through a few projects and had wanted to work together. So that was, it dovetailed nicely. Yvonne was brought in, the network suggested her, and then she and I had a long Zoom session, and she came on board really because of the script and because of our conversations, which made me very happy. Kathy Baker, you just say yes, she's a legend. And the teen actors, our casting director Meredith Tucker, who did Boardwalk Empire, she does White Lotus. She's very, very, very good at her job, and she brought us, I would say, for each of the two teenage roles and Arlo, brought us probably 30 different actors for each. I knew Luciano and Emily. I knew the second I saw them that they were the ones. And then you go through and you see the other ones, and you have callbacks and you have chemistry reads and things. But I knew the second I saw both of them, they were the ones. Caleb, who plays Arlo, I actually had thought we were done looking at kids and had decided on someone, and then she sent 3 more, and the second I saw him, I'm like, oh wait, this is him, and with a child actor, you're definitely looking for something that's immediate, because they're a kid. They're young. They're not Scott Speedman. They don't have years and years and years of experience. So they need to embody what you need them to embody, kind of at first glance. And he was just, this is a kid who's playing essentially 2 characters.
It's a tempest in a teacup.
What's a tempest?
It's like a really big storm.
That's what we've got. A really big tempest in a teacup.
Yeah. Hey, will you grab me a piece of paper?
Chaske Spencer was the first actor cast because I'd seen him in this Amazon Prime miniseries called The English. And the second I saw him in that, he didn't audition for us. We chased him down because he was perfect. And he said, "This is great. I love the script. Why do you want me?" And I said, "Because you just need to be the same guy that you are in the English. Just don't be, 1800s guy. Be 2024 version of that guy." Because it was just so perfect, and he's so subtle, and he's such a good actor.
Yeah, I thought of that too, but why?
Yeah, it wouldn't explain Donald Claire's truck either. Or no signal on our phones.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm glad Donald's on our side. Maybe some kind of electromagnetic pulse?
Like with a nuclear bomb.
Sure, yeah, or a solar flare. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know anything about science.
James.
It's a great ensemble piece. And I watched the finale last night, and I'm just on the edge of my seat in episode 8. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but there's obviously parts where this can go in a second season and maybe 3 seasons, 4 seasons. What is the hope to hopefully get Teacup in for additional seasons with Peacock?
The hope is that we get a season 2. As you said, you've seen the finale, yes. This is not set up as a closed-ended limited series. So the hope is very much so that we get a season 2. If we don't, I'll be glad we got to do it. It was the hardest and best work I've ever done in my life. But yes, the idea is to do several more seasons, and I'm excited to see what happens to these characters. So let's hope,
Fingers are crossed. It's exciting as an audience member to watch and hopefully see more seasons of Teacup. Make sure you watch new episodes each Thursday all the way through Halloween. Thanks a lot, Ian.
Thank you so much.